Don't tell me I look good because it's my birthday and I'm one more year into my 40s. So I'm telling everyone I'm turning 21 plus 20. So it was a rough night last night. I was up late till like 3 a.m. Like I was literally, guys, I was like dancing on a bar top like at 2 a.m. So what time is it? 9? So 7 hours ago I was like wasted. I'm super joking. That's tonight. Oh, that's Friday. Hey, we all Friday? Everyone see the invite for Friday? Deer in headlights? Nobody? Nobody? Bill? Oh man, Bill definitely needs the invite. So, okay, everyone here, we are, I was going to save this announcement till the end, but now will be discussed. So tomorrow, which is Friday, today's Thursday, right? Tomorrow's Friday. We are doing a party at Blue Moon Piano Bar. It was going to be at a different rooftop bar with the Snacks, our very own Jeff Karnowski, but they decided not to play at the rooftop bar downtown in the East Village, but he is now going to be playing with our other buddy, Chris Ronaldo, at the Blue Moon Piano Bar. They start at 8 p.m. We can start arriving at 7 o'clock. And then, if everyone's up to it, we might Uber over to another fun bar, 300, I always get the name, but 300 Craft and Rooftop Best Bar in downtown. So, I was going to save that for later, but I know Maria's got to take off soon, so Maria, do you have an update on Concept Squares?
Yeah. Hi everybody, just a couple things real quick. On your table there should be a flyer that talks about our school supply drive that Concept Cares Foundation is doing. We'll collect them here in the first couple of weeks of August, and then right around Labor Day we'll distribute them to some local schools. So we are looking for particular schools to donate those supplies to. So if you have a nomination or a recommendation of a particular building that might be of greater need, last year we donated them all to Moulton Elementary here in North Des Moines. So if you do have a suggestion or a nomination, shoot that over to me or drop it on like First to Know, tag Concepts Cares or whatever you want to do. The second thing is that we do have a new apparel site up and going, and we'll post that out today. It will be open to probably the 11th or 15th of August though, so it's just a short period of time because there are some tank tops and short sleeve stuff that we want to be able to have available for people before the weather turns cold. Hopefully that's not anytime soon. But if you have any questions, or as always, if you have a customer, a friend, a neighbor that's going through a tough time and might need some help or assistance, please let us know if there's anything we can do on behalf of the agents at our company. Because we have a lot of agents that really care a lot about our community and want to make sure we're staying out in front of things. So, thank you.
If anybody wants a flyer too, I have extras.
Yeah. And when you, as a reminder, whenever you see these things posted on social, snag it, send it out to your sphere, post it on your business pages, however you want to get the word out. I use it as a good touch with my clients to say, hey, we're doing this. If you have anything you'd like to contribute, I'd be happy to stop by and pick it up, make it convenient for your customers, and it's a good touch too. So, Jenny.
There's a lot of new people. You want to talk about the pledge?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, real quick. And if you are not, so we have a pledge, automatic pledge donation system that is set up. So if you are not currently pledging a portion of your commission to Concepts Cares Foundation, you can fill out a card. You can talk to Emily. She's our treasurer. We can just take care of it on the back end. So when your commissions are processed, a portion, whatever you designate, would go directly to Concepts Cares. It is tax-free, tax-deductible donation. So if you think of it from a tax planning standpoint too, it makes it easy, and it goes right back to our foundation, and then we act on behalf of the agents in our company. So if you have any questions on that, I probably will have to scoot this is over, but Emily is a great resource. Madison, who else is on Concepts Cares that's in here? Jenny, Sarah, Lindsay, any of them would be happy to answer questions too on how it works, or if you have any other questions. That's it. Yeah,
Thanks, Maria. You know, the pledge, when we first rolled out the pledge, I remember talking on the phone, Maria and I, and how excited we were. Little did we know how big the automatic pledges would get and how much we can help our community with the amount of money. It's a sizable amount of money that we have every every year, every month to donate and choose worthy causes to help out. So you won't miss it. We have agents that do as little as $10, and I think we have agents that do as much as $100.
For transaction, yep.
So yeah.
And also, when you purchase items from the apparel store, a portion of those sales also go back to Concepts Care. So it's a win-win as far as you have branded apparel that you can wear, but you also are contributing back to Concepts Care as well.
And then also for the new agents, if you know our Concepts Cares is all about helping local community family members. So if you have any situations where you might know a neighbor or a friend of a neighbor that had a house fire or lost this or is going through these type of struggles, nominate them for some Concepts Cares cash, and I'll tell you, the committee is fast and they're kind of easy. I see a couple $100, $500. Not that.
We're not going to lead with that.
Sorry. Told you that was
Generous.
yeah generous. And there's some awesome donations made. It kind of makes you feel warm and fuzzy when you see our Concepts Cares giving back to the community. Jenny brought up new agents, and I see quite a few new agent faces, or new faces in general. And we just go around. If you're new, this is your first time to breakfast, if you could just stand up and say hi to everyone and introduce yourself, your name and your office. I'm just going to start with my old friend Cindy Carlson, who I've known for a very long time.
Cindy Carlson, Vista. I retired, and I came out of retirement. I've been in real estate for 27 years. I've been in retirement 8 months, and it gets lonely without your real estate friends. It really does. So I'm at Vista.
Welcome, Cindy.
Allison Jen Hartog came over from Iowa out of the Beaverdale office, and we've been here since Monday. So
Yay!
Nicole Van Walbeck just came over from Iowa on Monday as well and came from the Beaverdale office. So I'm at Green. I'm excited.
Yay! Anyone else? Bill? I'm sorry, Mary too. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm Sherry Olander, and I am a brand new agent for about a month and a half. I've been an interior designer my whole life, so this is just kind of an extension of what I enjoy doing, working with people in their homes. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Welcome, Sherry.
Bill Ludwig, in the business here 2 weeks, joining my wife Sue Ludwig, and we'll be nice and team. We're out on 36th Street off the state.
Awesome. Welcome, Bill.
Cindy Stanford. I've been with the company for about a month and a half from Iowa Realty Jordan Creek, and total been in real estate for about 13 years.
Welcome, Cindy. Anybody else? All right. How about Mike? Where's our friend Mike from Legacy? There he is.
Hey guys, not much here. Obviously, keeping up with it. Rates are pretty good. Got a lot of calls yesterday with the Feds lowering rates. Just a little knowledge about that for you and your clients is rates can move a bit. Rates typically will somewhat follow when the Feds change rates. Usually when they go up, rates go up. But if you really want to keep track of interest rates, look at the 10-year Treasury bond. That's where rates are going to follow. So that even though the bond market kind of built in the fact that they thought Feds were going to lower rates. Today, they are down a little bit, but not a lot. So I got a ton of calls from people, hey, Feds lowered rates, my rates should go down 50%. Well, most of them were already locked in, unfortunately, but they didn't move at all anyway. So just something to kind of keep in mind, because that is a misconception out there that when Feds raise or lower rates, that mortgage rates follow that. And they do to a certain point, but it's 10-year Treasury bonds. So rates are good. It's been busy, so I'm sure you guys are seeing that as well.
Awesome. Any questions for Mike while we have him standing? Awesome. Well, thanks, Mike. How about Stephanie? Do we have a Max Insurance update?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Bowen with Max Insurance. We don't really have any updates right now, but just the referral request. If you send these in and we get a policy out of it, then we're doing referral credit on your invoices. So if you have any questions about that, just feel free to get a hold of me. Thank you.
More info will be coming out about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely have some more info about that. And there is not an HMS warranty rep here. Andy, as I called him, has stepped down. He found a new opportunity that follows his passion. So we have Angela Wagner, thank you. And her phone number or contact information is on the First to Know page. I think there was a request maybe to have it emailed out too. So, Angela, she's been with us. She's always been involved with concepts and HMS. So that was a great kind of transition from Andy to her. Anything else, Becca, that you can think of? Okay. Next up, we got Drew Harden from Blue Compass. How many years has this been now, Drew?
4 years.
4 years. Awesome. He's going to share a lot of great knowledge and exciting information about all things fun.
Thank you. So a few years ago, I was sitting in my office, and I was forwarded a call from a new potential client, which is great. I like it when that happens. And it was a new startup located in West Des Moines, and I spoke with the guy, and he was starting a new restaurant that served burgers and fries. And I thought, this is great. I love burgers and fries. Maybe we could do a trade or something like that. I was kind of excited about this opportunity. So he said, come on down, check out my place. We'll talk about the new website, and then you can put together a proposal. So we thought that was fantastic. So I ended up going down, and I met with the guy, and I walked in, and I don't know if I've ever met anyone as passionate as this business owner. I mean, this guy was so excited for his restaurant. The new startup restaurant, he was so passionate. So first of all, he took me over and he showed me the 2 ovens that they were using to cook these burgers. 2 $30,000 ovens. And he told me all about like the steam process. It cooks them with steam, I guess. It was different than a normal type of oven, and how healthy this is and delicious it is, and this is the only way to get the best flavors out of burgers. So excited about it. He took me over, and they had ice cream as well, and they had this whole ice cream area. They're bringing in this ice cream from Wisconsin. You can't get it anywhere else in Iowa, and it's really unique. It's award-winning. They're sparing no expense for it. And then he showed me the area where people would sit, and he said, okay, so all the waiters and waitresses, they're going to have this credit card machine like on their belt, because every step that you take, the restaurant loses money, so this way they can take the credit card when they're at the He had thought all this out. He was going to have Michael Jackson nights. He had gotten the rights. They had like videos and music that were going to play. He was going to show movies as well. And then he started telling me about the attorneys he was talking to for franchising opportunities. He had talked with attorneys that had been involved in franchising and expansion for McDonald's and Wendy's. And so he told me all about their plans to grow. This is just the first step, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I was like, wow, this is awesome. I was pumped. I couldn't wait for this place to open because I wanted to taste these burgers. But I was really impressed with his passion. Whenever you speak with someone who's really, really passionate about something, it's infectious. So he spoke with me for about an hour about this new restaurant that he's starting up. And then I said, okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your website. So I asked him a few questions, got some information, and we went back and we put together a proposal for him. We presented the proposal to him, and he thought about it, and he said, we're not going to worry about this for now. We're focusing on what we're doing, and we'll face that more down the road. We'll look at digital marketing down the road. So I would have loved for him to say yes, but that's okay. So the restaurant ended up opening up a few months later, and I went right away because, I'd been preached to for an hour about how amazing this place was, so I was really excited. So I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if the burgers were quite as good as he had built them up to be. He was very pumped about these burgers, but they were still really good, and I enjoyed the place. So I went a few different times, and then I remember driving by one day and looking, and there was a closed sign on the window, and I was like shocked. And sure enough, they weren't closed for the day. They just went out of business, which was really sad. It's sad when any place goes out of business, but it was so interesting after hearing all the time and energy and the quality that he had put into this. So I felt bad for him and everything, but so often, we can have all the right intentions, all the expertise we need, everything can be right, but if we mess up on the marketing or get the marketing wrong, it can feel like you're just spinning your wheels and not getting the traction that you want to get. That can be really frustrating. I feel like marketing, and sometimes especially digital marketing, can just be really frustrating because it's complex and it's changing and all that sort of thing. So at Blue Compass, that's what we do. We're always focused on digital marketing, what's new and what's the latest. And so I always enjoy speaking with this group because I share some of the latest things that we're talking about at Blue Compass. And I hope some of these things will be helpful and beneficial to you as well. So as I go through the presentation, if you have any questions, just raise your hand or shout them out, whatever you want to do. I think it makes it more interesting for everyone. And then I'll share a few resources throughout this, and so that you don't have to write down the whole URL. If you just go to bluecompass.com/Remax, there's a few links there that you can simply click on. So that being said, I will share with you 6, I forgot I increased it, bonus digital marketing updates that you should know about. So the first one is that Google My Business is becoming more important. Google My Business is the portal that Google has that allows you some control over what people see when they search for your name or your business. So most of the people in this room are on Google My Business, but some of you are not. So if you aren't, you can go to google.com/business and check it out. And even if you are, it might be good to jump into your Google My Business and make some updates and some optimizations. So I'll show you what I mean. This is a random agent in Texas that we found, and you can see over here on the right-hand side, all this information. You've seen this before when you do searches, right? All this information comes from Google My Business. So this guy has claimed his Google My Business account. He can log in there, and he can put this information in. If you search on mobile, it looks like this. So if you do not claim your Google My Business, then one of two things will happen. One, this information won't show up at all. So if you do a search, there'll be nothing over there. You search for your name, there'll be nothing over there. Or Google will decide to fill it in for you. And unfortunately, you never want Google to fill things in for you because Google doesn't always do a good job. So really important to claim it if you're able to do so. So you'll see here, it's great because you can see website up at the top. You're able to input your website. You can collect reviews through here. You can put in your address, your hours, your phone number. There's a question and answer section. It doesn't always show up, but we're noticing larger businesses especially are using these more and more. Google really loves FAQs these days. And so if you look right here, if someone has a question for you, they could actually click that button and input a question and submit it, and then it would likely show up there. And then you can go into the Google My Business and you can answer that. Or if you'd like to, you could input the questions into this that appear under your names, and then you can answer them. So it's like you can almost make your own FAQ right here in search results. So you can do that all through Google My Business. Reviews from the web, it's pulling in reviews from Zillow here. It doesn't always do that, but it does do that sometimes. And then here, this guy even wrote a little synopsis about what he's all about. So there's even a description area, so you could actually describe your brand, your business, who you are, what you do, and what value you can bring to people. And if we scroll down a little more, this area here is called Google Posts. Google Posts are fairly new, and so we've been exploring them more and more, but we're starting to encourage our clients to become active in Google Posts. Google's had some failed attempts at social media, and this isn't really social media, but in Google My Business, this is an area you can go in and you can make little posts, almost like little Facebook posts, but they'll actually show up in your search results. So this guy put a post about, if you're ready to sell a home, et cetera, et cetera. Probably best to not always be too salesy here and maybe give away some expertise or advice or things like that. But Google Posts is probably something to look out for as well. And it doesn't take you a lot of time or energy. It doesn't cost you anything. You simply need to log into your Google My Business and access it. Any questions about Google My Business? All right. All right, number 2 is scheduling appointments through Facebook. is becoming a bigger thing. Does anyone accept appointment scheduling through Facebook right now? It's kind of a newer thing. So this morning, 2 other people from Blue Compass are going to the Iowa National Guard, and they're speaking to 75 people about social media and how to use social media and things like that. So I was on their Facebook page, and they actually have this section here where you can schedule an appointment with them. I think it's for recruitment and things like that. So if your Facebook page is a business page, which it probably is, not your personal page, but for your business, then you can schedule an appointment to it. So this is a page in Facebook, and I have the link shared at bluecompass.com/Remax if you want to access it. But it gives you the instructions on how to do so. But basically, within your Facebook business page, you can go and you can select dates and times in which you are available. You could have them recurring, so you could say, hey, every Tuesday from noon to 5 I'm available. Or you can individually do it every week. Probably be easier to do it reoccurring. But if you do that, then you can enable there to be a button on your Facebook, and if someone comes to it, they can click schedule appointment. They can see some of these options here. Yeah, I want to meet with him or her at 1 o'clock. It sends you a notification, and then it's just a way for you to get in touch with that person. Maybe a good idea to consider. Again, it's fairly new, but we're starting to see some businesses use this, and we're probably going to be encouraging our clients, if they're in the right industry, to give this a try as well. All right, so number 3 is the quality and quantity of reviews are becoming more and more important. So this probably isn't a big surprise to any of us here, but Google, Facebook, and probably just users in general are becoming more and more interested in the quality and the quantity of reviews. So, as you know, the more reviews you can receive, the better. It makes you look better in Facebook's eyes, in Google's eyes, in Yelp's eyes, whoever's eyes it is, and then also in the eyes of your audience too. People these days, especially younger people, especially those millennials that we all talk about, look at reviews. It's a big deal. So anything you can do to get more reviews is probably a beneficial thing. And again, we've all seen these in Google before, where we have the from 1 to 5 stars. So again, if you have Google My Business claim, they should be able to see stars under your name in most cases if you have reviews. Yeah?
Well, I just noticed that on Facebook, you can't do like a star anymore.
Yeah.
You have to write a paragraph, and then Facebook will decide what star that company gets. So it's all like you don't rate it like that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We were talking about that in the office yesterday. So Facebook now calls it recommendations instead of reviews, and it used to be stars, but now you go in there, and you cannot assign a star. Instead, you just write about your experience. And so it's a little different. And yet within Google, sometimes Google will still pull in a Facebook review for you based on the stars that you had. Like if you Google Blue Compass, it will show you a number of stars for Facebook reviews, even though they don't do that anymore. Sometimes the two of those don't work together so well. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. That is interesting how they do that. Yeah?
Is there one place someone can go to leave a review and you can populate that over all these different things? If you ask for a review, it's kind of like, where do you want them to leave a review?
Sure.
You go to 10 different places.
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you didn't hear, is there one place to go where you can put reviews everywhere instead of just leaving them in all? Because you're right, there's a million places to leave reviews. Facebook, probably most important for you guys, but Google might be right up there, probably interchangeable. There's a few services you can use that can help you with that, but unfortunately there's not like one place where someone can input it and then it populates it across all different platforms. I wish there was, because all these different platforms don't work so well together and they want to be the leader in reviews. And so I don't think there's a really easy solution that I'm aware of, unfortunately. It would be nice. Unfortunately, we have to say, hey, could you leave me a review on Facebook and on Google and in this place too, everywhere else? So that is kind of a pain.
I've heard agents talk about doing it, send, I don't know how you guys all send them out, but if you send an email that asks for a review, put several different, review me
here on Google, review me here on Facebook, and maybe they'll do a couple, or at least they have different options to do it different places.
Right, we've done that to provide links and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
the different-
And that's a great thing to do too. So let me show you what we do at Blue Compass. So we go and speak to groups, and then we share a handy link like this, hoping that people will go and access the amazing resources that are in store for them. And so let's click on this and see what happens. Oh, I'm not connected to the internet. Let's go over here. Okay, so this is the page, and then we have this button here that says, I'll leave a quick review. And then as you scroll down, you'll find these resources. I mean, should you find yourself on this page and like click the button and everything, that would be fine. But when you click that button, what we did is we grabbed the link from a Google review. So it's really easy. So it doesn't just send you over to Google. It doesn't send you to Blue Compass's page on Google. It actually is like a pop-up, and right there you can click the stars. So we just tried to make it as easy as possible. So you could do that too if you're sending out an email or any interaction. If you have a web page, you can get a link directly to that pop-up to review you, and then you can copy that link, paste it somewhere, and send it to someone. So anything you can do to make that journey a little easier is really positive. What a helpful link. Okay. All right, any other thoughts on reviews? Okay. Number 4, conversation-worthy Facebook posts get more traction and more engagement. So when I spoke to this group last year, we did talk quite a bit about this, but wanted to reiterate it. So first of all, as we talked about last year, and as most of you probably know, Facebook made a really big algorithm change last year. It really frustrated a lot of businesses and companies. It used to be that businesses and companies could paste content into Facebook, make a nice post, and a lot of their followers would actually see it. But Facebook made something called a meaningful interaction update last year, and it makes it way harder for news organizations, for businesses, to make it through the clutter on Facebook. So they're really demoted in an algorithm. So in Facebook, if you're posting on your business page, the odds that people see your post are a lot less likely now than it was a year or so ago, unfortunately. And so this is Mark Zuckerberg's post last year when he announced this. And basically in the post, he's like, hey, we have this amazing new algorithm change. We're going to focus more on the people and the places that matter most to you. People are happiest when they're interacting with their family and their friends. And so you'll see more posts from family and friends and fewer from businesses and media organizations, which actually sounds really good. The more cynical marketers among us said, okay, so you're just doing this so it's harder for businesses to make it through the clutter, so businesses have to pay you more to make it through the clutter. And that's probably some truth to that. But it was a big change. And so I remember after he did this, there was immediately a organization that went out of business just 1 month later because they relied so heavily on Facebook for their business model. It was a publisher called Little Things. And so it really, really impacted businesses. It goes to show you, I suppose, it's best for none of us in this room to ever try to focus our marketing too much on one platform. Don't rely 100% on Facebook. Don't rely 100% on Google, 100% on anything else. It's nice to diversify a bit. But it was really a big deal. And so a lot of people said, is Facebook going to go away after this because they're really harming businesses? Are businesses going to leave Facebook? And people will say, is Facebook dead? But of course, no, it's not. Facebook is still around, and it's just about as big as it always was. And so every year at Blue Compass, we do a social media study of Iowans. We started doing this because we could not find any studies of Iowans and their social media habits. And so the latest one we did shows that 55% of Iowans say Facebook is their favorite social media platform. That's Iowans 18 to 44. And after 44, it's even higher than that, as you might imagine. And most Iowans use Facebook too. What do you think the second most used and favorited social media by Iowans is? Any ideas? Instagram. 12% Instagram, and then Snapchat, and then Twitter. Iowans love their Facebook, even more so than the national average. Iowans love their Facebook. We did this same thing from 18 to 24-year-olds, and their favorite social media, Facebook. Everyone always talks about how the cool young kids are getting off of Facebook, but they're not. They use it more than any other social media platform, less than this demographic. But Facebook is so big in Iowa. So if you're on Facebook, you still need to be there. It's good. And if you're not on Facebook, you probably should be. Whether that's good or bad, we can debate. So let's talk real quick about some of the updates that Facebook made to their algorithm, and what can you do to make your posts more visible. If you're going to take the time and energy to actually make a post on Facebook, let's at least try to get it more visible. Because when you post, a very small percentage of your followers actually see that. Some organizations, when they post, like 0.5%, 1%, 2% of their visitors or of their followers will see it. It's a really small percentage, unfortunately. For us in this room, it's probably a little higher, but it's still a very small percentage. Because Facebook has an algorithm that allows it to choose which posts you see. And it used to be just the latest post. Whoever posted the latest, that's the one you would see in your feed. And then years ago, Facebook changed it so that it was the posts with the most likes. Those are the ones that you would see. And with this change, it's a few other metrics. So let's take a look. So the first thing that Facebook looks at is the sharing of your post. And specifically, if you post something and someone shares it over Facebook Messenger with someone else, Facebook is really impressed. Facebook says, okay, someone liked that so much that they personally shared it with a friend privately. Therefore, it must be really good content. So if you can create something that's good enough that someone's going to share it individually with a friend, that's really valuable. It's hard to game the system, so don't try to share everything yourself with Messenger with someone. Facebook will catch on to that. But sharing is really valuable. Another metric that Facebook really looks at these days is engagement with a post shared by a friend. So in other words, if one of your friends in Facebook shares a post and it comes through on your feed, and then you engage with it. So in other words, you click on it, you like it, you share it, etc. Facebook says, oh, nice, that must be really good content. Maybe I should show it to other people. Because it was something that someone you don't necessarily even follow, but you still liked it, you still engaged with it. So if you can create content that even your followers like and engage with, that's really, really valuable. Another one is simply commenting on a post. Facebook really wants content that's conversation worthy. So the more comments you can get on your posts, the higher the chance that other people will see it too. And then one more is just multiple replies to comments. So if you have a comment to a post and someone replies to that, a conversation gets started, right? Maybe someone else replies to that. Facebook really likes that. So instead of having a post with 1 million likes and no comments, if you can have a post with just a few likes and lots of comments, that's better. And then the odds that more people will see it increase. So I think bottom line, one way to look at it is that instead of making content attention grabbing, if you can make your posts conversation worthy, that will help you gain more traction. So there's a number of ways to do that. Make your content original, individualized. Talk about other people in a positive manner. Ask questions. Anything you can do to get comments and shares is really valuable. So as an example, here's a post we did recently. This is Mallory. She's one of our team members, and she was featured in an online marketing publication. And so we shared it on Facebook, and we included just simply a picture of her. we could have put a stock photo, we could have done something else, we could have just had a link from the article, but just simply including a picture of someone is really valuable because it personalizes it. She sees it, she likes it, her family members see it and they like it, her friends see it and like it, people in the office see it and they like it, just because this is not a stock photo, this is a real person and we know her. So just things like that are really helpful. This is a post by a realtor that I thought was pretty good. I mean, someone had just gotten a new home, and so they took a picture of the whole family there. They tagged the people in there. They really congratulated them on a photo. So, of course, this family is going to go like that and share that. Their friends and family members are going to see it. It's just a good way. I mean, people are going to comment and say, oh, congratulations, that's awesome. It's a really good way to individualize it instead of just posting about how great your services are or how much you can help people. Doing something like this is a good way to get some traction. And hopefully people will say, they look happy and I'm seeing a lot of good comments. Maybe I should engage with this realtor. And then this is a look at some comments on a realtor's post that I noticed. And one thing I liked about it was that people made comments and then the realtor herself, named Lindsay, commented back to pretty much everything people said. So just as if people leave you voice messages, you'll get back to them eventually. It's really the same online. If anyone ever has a comment on one of your social posts or anything, probably good to comment back. If they just comment with a cool or a thanks or something like that, you don't necessarily need to. But especially if someone writes a couple sentences, say, thanks for the kind words or answer their question. Try to engage with them, and that might bring more comments about. So that's really valuable to do too. All right, and number 5, Facebook favors video posts. So this doesn't come as any surprise to any of us here, really, but Facebook really, really likes videos, and more so they like videos and desire for all of us to post videos on their service. So a few years ago, a VP at Facebook was interviewed, and she had the quote that she said, in 5-10 years, all content on Facebook will be videos. Which is a really bold thing to say. I don't even know if that's true. But you can tell, they really believe in video on Facebook. So the more videos you can post, the better, and you have a higher odds of people seeing your post if you have a quality video in that. Yeah?
Live versus pre-recorded stuff?
Either one is good.
Okay.
Either one is good. Facebook Live is great, and then it can become a video that can be used after that, and then pre-recorded stuff is good too. Great question. Thank you. So here's a look at some analytics. And the first 3, you can see, these are all posts in Facebook. The number is impressions. So how many people saw it? How many people Facebook decided to show it to? So the first 3 posts are links. So people took a URL, a web address, and they pasted it in Facebook. And then it pulled through the photo and they posted it. And you can see that 11,000 people saw the first one, 22,000 people saw the third one. The last 2 are video posts. Almost 100,000 people saw this video post, and over 1 million people saw this video post. So almost without fail, if you post a video, more people will see it than if you post a photo or a link or nothing at all. So if you're able to, videos are really great. So this is an example of a Facebook Live Q&A that a realtor did. He walked through a home. He just answered some questions. I think he got questions submitted during the recording, and someone read them off to him. Maybe he had a paper as he walked through that he read the questions on. Facebook Live Home Tour. We see realtors doing this. You've probably seen this too. But this also has value, going around and showing a home, talking about some of the benefits and assets of it. A home buyer tutorial video. You have some great expertise about this area of town, about what makes homes unique. Why not share some of that on Facebook, whether it's in a post or a video? Things to look for when looking through a house, things to avoid. What do you want in a new kitchen? Things like that. You have some great expertise, so if you can share that to your audience, it's really valuable. Yeah?
Is it beneficial to do a lot of promotion of the live video ahead of time and then also reshare the recorded one?
Sure.
Should you use it over a span of just, not just the live video, but use it before before and after too?
Yeah, good question. Yes, I think so. So if you're going to do a Facebook Live video, it only makes sense to promote it a little beforehand, get the most out of it you can during. But if only a few people show up and watch it, that's okay, because then you can easily post it and have people consume that video later. Unless things went horribly wrong in your live video, then obviously you don't have to do that. But yeah, get the most out of it you can. Continue to use that video. Absolutely. Good question. All right. Any other questions about video? All right. Number 6, aim for the Google answer box. So this one's a little more complicated and a little more lofty, but I thought I would bring it up just because we've been talking a lot about this in our office. So we focus a lot on search engine optimization, or SEO, as I'll say from this point forward. And it used to be when we wanted a page to rank in Google, we would start with the keyword. What do we want to rank for? New homes in Urbandale. Is that a good keyword for us to rank for? Something like that. And these days, we start by deciding where we want to rank. Because Google used to show you 10 organic results, right? But now when you search for something on Google, over on that right-hand side, you see that knowledge panel with the photos and reviews and things like that. You know, when you ask a question, sometimes it'll answer the question in an answer box up at the top. There'll be ads. Sometimes there's a map. So the search results are really complicated based on what they used to be. And it's not a bad thing. Google's trying to shorten the user's search journey. And for us in this room, if you're searching for something, it's probably not a bad deal, because it is kind of nice when you ask a question to Google and then you hit search and the answer's right there and you don't have to click through to a website. But it does frustrate some businesses and some marketers because they feel like Google's taking their content and they're putting it directly on the search results pages. So that can be frustrating, but for us in this room, if you ever do have the opportunity to rank within a Google answer box, it's incredibly valuable. So this one's more difficult. It takes time and energy and planning, but if you're able to do it, you will get an influx of good traffic to your website. So you do need a website to do this. I'll show you what I mean. Is it cheaper to buy or build a house? Up at the top, we've all seen this before. There's an answer. And Google grabbed this information and pulled it from a website and placed it within search results. So at Blue Compass, we're talking a lot about how can we get our clients more in these answer boxes, because it gives them really high prevalence on the page. It makes them look like thought leaders. I mean, that's a great place to show up. So if you are ever wanting to get really aggressive about your marketing and about showing up in Google and actually getting people to your website, considering something like this would be awesome. So if I wanted to rank for something like this would probably be a hard one to rank for. It might be better to focus on a more local one that has to do with Iowa. But I would look at this query. Is it cheaper to buy or build a house? And then on my website, I would put in a title of a page, or a heading 1 or a heading 2, and I'd probably have very similar content that would say, is it cheaper to buy or build a house? Or the difference of buying and building a house, and then answer it really well underneath that in paragraph text. You can use a lot of content to answer that question, but in the first part of it, give a nice, concise answer that would fit really well in this answer box. And so if you want to do it, you have to identify searches that already have Google answer boxes, and you want to try to replace them with a better answer. So like I said, it's hard to do and you have to monitor it, but it's really, really valuable. You may not be interested in even trying this, and that's fine. I wanted you to be aware of it. Some other ones. What's the best place to live in Iowa? Ames, Des Moines. Ames is number 1 apparently, Marion. But they pulled all this from a website. And so if you were like, man, I could write a great blog article about that, and you wanted to rank for this content, you should also have a bullet point list, because Google thinks a bullet point list is the best format for this. So all kinds of different queries that you could rank for when it comes to Google answer boxes. Any questions about Google answer boxes or Google in general?
I would just add to highlight what you said about being more specific, because that's going to give you better.
Absolutely.
SEO than if you're just doing general, trying to compete with
For sure.
nationally,
Yep.
compete on an Iowa basis.
Yes, thank you for reiterating that, Becca. Yeah, if you want to do this, probably don't try to rank for how much does a house cost or something really broad like that. But if you try to rank for something like what's the best housing options in Iowa or in Des Moines or something like that, that would make a lot more sense. The best new development in Des Moines, something like that. So look for terms like that that actually already have answers. And so in this same vein, one of the things that we've been doing at Blue Compass and for a lot of our clients are FAQs on web pages. And so this is a look at our search engine optimization page, and you can see we have a FAQ. What is SEO? We have a nice, concise answer. Why is SEO important? We have a nice, concise answer. So hopefully some of those get pulled into answer boxes, but even if they don't, FAQs are something that a lot of digital marketers are talking about these days. So it might be an idea, if you have a website, for you to think about. I mean, what if you had a page that had a bunch of FAQs about home options in Urbandale or something like that, and you wrote out the question and you gave nice answers for all the questions that you get from different clients. I mean, if you came up with a list of your top 10 questions that you always get and you answered them in a really nice manner on your website, I think that'd be really valuable. And it seems like Google likes to rank pages like this more and more so. So just an idea. FAQs are very positive. All right, so there's the 6 things. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions about Facebook, video? Yeah?
Getting back to the videos, I'm not a selfie girl, and so video especially is kind of but
Sure.
as far as, if I'm, showing property or whatever, and I'm not in the video, is that okay? Or
Sure.
does it want to see me in the video?
I'm sure your audience wants to see you. But you don't have to be on the video. I mean, I suppose it probably makes it more personable if you are, but you don't have to be on the video. Just having a video is probably valuable, even if you're just speaking in the background and moving the camera around the room or something like that. Yeah, that's absolutely valuable.
Is there still a certain amount, like it's got to be less than 2 minutes, or what's the time frame that people actually will watch it and not watch it?
Good question. So people ask us that a lot. How long should a video be? I think usually the shorter, the better. I mean, not like 5 seconds, but usually a couple minutes or less seems good. But at the same time, I mean, you go on YouTube and some videos that are an hour long perform really, really well. So it just depends on the content. There's nothing wrong with doing a really long Facebook Live video. There's nothing wrong with that. But if someone emails you a link to YouTube or a Facebook video and it's like 10 minutes and 53 seconds, you'd probably be like, I don't have time for this right now. So usually shorter is better. Good question. Thank you. Other questions?
I don't know about you guys, but sometimes those selfie videos, as you're doing, like as an agent is doing a walkthrough, it's just them like walking through the house. I don't like that. I think what Drew was saying, just a quick selfie. Hey, this is Jen. I'm at my new listing in Clive, and I'm so excited to show it off. And then you flip it. I think that's perfect. Or if you don't show yourself at all, sometimes I don't know if you guys have watched some of the impromptu videos. And if you want to do an impromptu video, even if you're not doing an agent open, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do those. But sometimes as we're doing impromptu videos, all of a sudden you're in the bathroom and then there's a mirror. Oh, there I am. You can, say hi real quick. So yeah, so I agree. So I think sometimes the selfie videos kind of hurt agents in their personal brand.
Sure.
Something to think about too, if you do a video and you're not in it at all, and someone's just scrolling through, they may not realize it's you. And they won't think it's important enough to stop and look at it. So even if you're just in the beginning of it or at the end, it'll give them enough to recognize, hey, that's Jen, I should probably watch this.
And I've never been too worried about the video length. Obviously, I agree with what Drew said, but myself individually, like you can go forward, you can go back, you can go forward, you can go back. I could watch a 5-minute video in 30 seconds if I really wanted to. So.
Well, if you're resharing a live video or you record, you can say, watch the first 30 seconds, I show this, or talk about something funny in one part of it, so kind of people know where to go to if it is a longer video.
The one thing I don't like about it, Drew, I'd love your opinion on this. I think you said Facebook Live, John's question was pre-record or Facebook Live, and then when you're trying to watch a Facebook Live after the fact, let's say I miss it, but then I want to see comments or I want to see like who's liking it. You have to like, maybe it's like user error, but like it's not as user friendly to like navigate through comments and likes on live video versus pre-record.
It is a little different format. Yeah, that's a good point.
As a consumer, as a watcher, I don't like that. I'd rather be able to say, oh yeah, Jen commented this or John said that, Becca said that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, good point.
anyone else have questions for Drew?
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite iPhone app or something that's good for editing video, or do you just use the video editing thing on your phone?
iMovie. Yep. I think that's the best one in my opinion. It's really good.
Suggestion for Android? That's Android? This might be the wittiest couple ever. I love this couple right here. You're good.
I support that.
What's that?
I support that.
Oh, okay.
Makes your life easier.
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
My kids, twins are 8, my daughter's 11, and oldest is 12. They love iMovies, and they make some embarrassing movies about me, so hopefully they'll never share those. But
Not about you.
yeah,
Really? Wow.
yeah, they love to roast me. Have kids, and all of a sudden your confidence goes from here to here. Yeah. Any other questions for Drew, guys? Those are great questions.
Can you share what the burger restaurant was?
Well, I debated whether I should or not. It's probably not a big deal, but yeah, it was Gutenbergers. I don't know if you remember that or not. I said positive things about them. They just went out of business. Yeah. It was in West Des Moines. Yep. Yeah.
I had heard that a conversation doesn't count on Facebook unless it's 4 words or more. Like if it's 3 words, like that looks great, or something like that. That with the algorithms and everything, that they kind of just don't count anything that's less than 4 words as a conversation.
Yep. So I've never heard 4 words or more, but we definitely believe that longer comments are looked at a little more favorably. So I mean, if someone comments to something and just says "great," I mean, that doesn't add a lot of interest or value, and we all know that. But if someone writes a couple sentences and adds some interesting dialogue to the conversation, that's a lot more valuable. So I don't think that Google just ignores short comments, but I do think it's way more interested in a couple sentences instead of 3 words. What?
You don't think it's calculating?
No, I don't think its algorithm is based on like the number of words necessarily. But I think in a general sense it likes more. But at the same time, I'm sure that if you wrote the same word 50 times, Facebook's algorithm is crazy smart. It would say, that's not a great comment. If it can notice that there's some variation in the words, then it probably favors it more. Yeah.
These girls finally got me on Instagram recently. I'm a little slow.
They're so tech savvy.
Yeah, finally paid. But when people start following me, is it, you see that I should be following them back, or because it's a business page, do I just, what's your?
You have an opinion?
I follow back people that are relevant, like people that know, that are realtors in business here, that are the other sort of related to the business that you're in here. Because then you can kind of create a relationship with somebody that's a realtor and it's a Bob, I don't know. Like you don't, it's cool they follow you, but you don't, it's not, what they're doing is not pertinent to what you're doing.
What about the guys that are across seas that I'm starting to get messages from? Do I block them?
Block them.
What if they're gonna go here and buy a house?
Is this why you don't do selfies so much? The guys across
Just
seas?
ask them for their phone number and check them out on 401.
Margaritas and chips and
Yeah.
And I think that's
Stick
why
Cameron on.
if you try to follow a whole bunch of people just trying to get followers
That's the nice
back.
thing about Instagram though, because like if you don't want to see their stuff, you just don't have to follow. Because on Facebook you have to accept each other if you're.
Then you can unfollow.
There's that, but I mean, if I know for sure I can care less what you're saying, I'm just not gonna follow you.
You need someone to troll them for you.
Yeah, there you go.
That was great. Cameron, that was awesome. Anything else? I do before Drew wraps up too. I just want to kind of reiterate some of the things that I talk about in one-on-ones and accountability mastermind groups. And it's not a hard, fast fact science by any means, but my own personal philosophy, what I've learned from the Drews and the other social media experts is you need to post at least once a day, right, Drew?
Probably. It's nice to post. I mean, you don't want to post so often that people are being inundated and it's not valuable content. But yeah, I mean, if you can post once a day, that's pretty valuable. Yeah. But I think the post should add some value. Mm-hmm. Don't just post a post, like give some value to, I mean.
Like I can't find any matching socks. That's that post will get you not so real quick, but some of the other ideas that you had. And then also as far as that post rhythm, I've always suggested an 80-20. 80% of what you post is personal, it's genuine, you're sharing something about your life, what's going on in your world, because people aren't following you because you're a business, because you're a real estate agent. They're following you or friending you because they want to know what's going on in Bill's world. And then 20% is more professional, service, business-based. And I equated that to like watching an HGTV show. All these shows are getting viewers by 80% of that 30-minute block is the actual show, and then 20% is advertising. So think about that, and then also think about timing, and maybe Drew, you can kind of help us too as far as, I know early morning is good, lunch is good, and then even late evening is good, but do you have any suggestions there on timing?
I don't think the timing matters that much anymore. It used to be that you'd want to post at certain times, but like I mentioned, the posts on Facebook especially are not based on time nearly as much as they used to be. And so, I don't think that matters that much. I mean, if you post at like midnight, you probably won't get as much traction as other times, but I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Awesome. And then also, just flipping the switch from a mindset standpoint, I hear a lot of agents say, oh, Facebook, I'm not on it, it's just a time suck, or, just wasting time. Think about it the other way, one thing I know Drew's talked about in the past is you can create groups on Facebook. So if you have 2,000 friends and you don't really, those algorithms aren't lining up that you're not seeing your sphere of influence, make it a group of SOI friends, family members, past clients, and then click on that group and then make it part of your power hour to go and see what's going on with your 200, 300 database SOI A-plussers. And then all of a sudden, what I always recommend is if you go on for at least an hour, 60 minutes, try to find at least 30 things to like, real quick, or react to, like, love, haha, wow, whatever, and then find some things to comment. 4 words, what Heather Wright had said when she did a presentation. I think I agree with Drew. The genuine response is what we recommend, but if you're going to go on there for an hour, find at least 20, 30 things to like or to respond to with the like, love, or haha, wow, and then also find some things that you can comment on. And I think I forget my exact numbers, but like at least 15 things to write comments on, and then 5 direct messages. So, oh, John, I haven't seen you. How are you and Amy doing? Congratulations on this, or it looks like the girls are getting so big. And then all of a sudden that's engaging. So hopefully the goal of that is to kind of remind them about who you are and what you're doing, because there's sometimes, I have over 2,000 friends, and there's sometimes like, oh my gosh, what's that person up to, or what's that person up to? And then because I haven't engaged with them, I'm not even seeing their feeds, right? But now that I search them and I see what's going on, and then I like their stuff and they like mine, all of a sudden it's kind of like rekindling that relationship. So, but other than that, sorry I talked too long, but go ahead, John.
That brings up a quick question. I heard one time that if you private message someone, they're more likely to see some of your posts. Is that part of their algorithm as well, because you're having a conversation like that?
We think.
Show up in their feed more often.
Yeah, not necessarily if it's just one message, one time, one way, but if there's dialogue between the two, yeah, we think so.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you engage with people's posts, so you can see them more.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just like you said. Yep.
Yeah. So organizing those groups of your SOI just so that way they don't forget about you, because NAR tells us the average homeowner is going to stay in their house for 5 to 7 years, or you can strategically look through your database and say, who's renting right now, who got engaged, or who has a baby, or who has kids now going out of daycare, and it's going to free up, $1,000 a month. And so start looking through your database and using Facebook as your CRM to start liking their, I mean, like I said, it's just very strategic, like comment, message, and then top of mind awareness. That's what it's all about. Absolutely, yeah. Anything else for Drew, Cameron?
Do you know how like the stories impact anything? Do they impact things like a Facebook story or Instagram story? Whatnot?
Are you asking of the value of them? Are they worth doing, or?
Like, so, example, if you get like 56 people that go through your story or whatever, does that do anything? Like if you add something,
Yeah.
there's just kind of an extra way to get in front of people.
Yeah, so Facebook and Instagram stories, for those of you who don't know, it enables you to do a quick little video, photo, whatever, and it's live for like 24 hours or so. If a lot of people are engaging with them, I think on both platforms, the odds that you might come up more often in their feed, at least in Facebook, increases. And it's not a bad way to reach out to people and get people aware of you. As a realtor, there might be some value in it because when you post, and if you're someone's friend, it can enable you to show up at the top of their screen because it prioritizes the latest posts. But the only bad thing is it's only around for 24 hours, and so it's like you continually have to do it. So I think it might be worthwhile to keep top of mind sometimes, but it can be a lot of work if you're trying to always come up with something to put in a Facebook story. So I think it's a good practice if you have the time and energy. Yeah.
What's your philosophy on LinkedIn? It used to be like a couple years ago, oh, you have to be on LinkedIn, and their numbers was very small.
Yep.
For Iowa,
Yep.
is it mainly Iowa it's small, or is that?
No, that's probably pretty consistent around the country. I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my favorite social media, and they make fun of me at work for that. But I think it's pretty great personally. Yeah. So I like it a lot. I'm a little biased. It's definitely a lower user base, but at the same time, if you think about the numbers of people that use all of these, there's still millions and millions of people that use it. So the advantage of LinkedIn is that it's the most professional social media network, and there's still some lousy or negative content on there. But for the most part, the posts are all pretty professional, motivational, things like that. There's generally people, posting about their new job or their new this or that, and then there'll be usually the engagement we find is pretty good on it, and people are not smack talking each other too much. There's not a lot of trolling because it's like your professional name, and so I think it definitely has some value. And quite honestly, I don't know that I've thought through the value for a realtor. I think realtors should be on it. I think it's a good place to be present. But don't let the low numbers scare you away. There's still a lot of people on LinkedIn. There's still millions and millions of people on LinkedIn. And I'm connected with over 1,000 people in the Des Moines area. There's lots of people in Des Moines that do use LinkedIn. So I think it's worthwhile.
Sarah?
I would argue that if relocation is part of your business strategy, that you would be doing yourself a disservice by not having a presence on LinkedIn. I think it comes down to what it is that you're trying to accomplish in your business and what your strategy is. It's not the place to just list a random house for sale. That's not the network for it. If you have potentially an executive home that's available maybe for like a long-term lease, that might be a different story. Again, I think you have to consider, particularly as realtors, for the relocation opportunities that LinkedIn could allow for, as well as working with just making some connections with some executives in other local corporations here. I think there's certainly opportunities there for move-up buyers too.
Yeah, and one thing too about LinkedIn versus Facebook, I have a lot of buddies from college that don't have a Facebook page, but they're all about LinkedIn. And so back to building your database, mining your database, strategically stealth marketing to your database. Like if you have a good percentage of your contacts not on Facebook, but they're on LinkedIn, go there strategically for those individuals and seek them out and like and comment and engage with them. And like Drew said, we're not we don't need to sell 1 million houses a year. All we need to do is hit our own individual goals, whether that's 24, 36, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So
It's just another place to stay top of mind. So yeah, that's probably good advice.
was Twitter up there high, Drew? I don't remember seeing it.
larger than I thought.
Twitter was fourth. Number 4, yep, in Iowa. No, Snapchat was third, and yeah, well, very similar. You're right. It was close. It was close. Yeah. Twitter has some value for some of our clients, but for the most part, we don't see a huge return on investment with Twitter with our clients.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything else, guys? We've got a few other announcements before we let Drew off the hook. Can we give him a round of applause for working
Thank
here?
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Always great information, tons of value add, so thank you very much, Drew. Becca, we got some announcements?
Yeah, just a reminder, I think we still have it pinned in the first to know page, but if you guys are getting scam texts from Lance Hanso, that is not legit. If you get anything from the brokers from a number that's not maybe what you probably have all their numbers in your phone, if it's not their contact, first thought is they probably didn't get a new phone, they would have shared that with everybody if they had gotten a new number. I think Shane had said it hit him now too, so I actually got one from Lance yesterday, and then I said, nice try, and then they replied, a different broker. It was Carl McKnight. They tried it again. I was like, really? Same number? I'm not an idiot. Like,
If you get a text from me asking for a gift card today, it's legit because it's my birthday.
Just go ahead and send it to
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's that. What else, Becca,
Then
we
we
got?
have the fair next week, next Thursday.
Who's excited for that?
So I do have a couple tickets. Some of them were dropped off at Grand yesterday or the day before. So if you have pictures up there, but you're at that office, your tickets are there. Service center were sent there, but I do have a couple people I saw in here who I have your tickets. So
That's going to be a
grab
ton of
those
fun.
tickets. Yeah, it'll be.
Let's pray for not too hot weather, right?
It's been nice so far. 4 to 6 that day will be at the Bird's Nest. So for those of you who were there last year, it'll be the same place. It's up by the, I call it the KCCI stage because that's where they do their 6 o'clock news. But what is it? Mid-American Energy Stage. That's right. So it's just a little area up there, and we just kind of hang out. And, you know, throughout the day, if you go for the whole day, hopefully you see people throughout the park too. But at least we can all gather together from 4 to 6. So
Yeah. Anything else, Becca?
I think so.
Okay, Michelle, any updates from our training?
The only thing I have is we have relaunched the school website, so conceptsreschool.com. It's where you can go to find what our class schedule is, where you can access online classes. We've got our blog on there. We've got links to the instructors. So check it out, see what you think, and it just makes it really easy to register for classes and to see what's going on. And Madison worked really hard on it, and it looks awesome.
Yeah. Great job, Madison.
And don't forget to sign in because you do get a 1-hour credit for today.
Yeah. And just a couple plugs real quick for Creative Concepts. We've got a lot of agents using Creative Concepts. If you haven't checked it out, haven't explored it yet, definitely check it out. It's a great investment in your business to help with your marketing, field services, especially for those that are going on vacation. Don't forget to use field services if you need help. If you need help with the showing or an open house, or running a sign, or a lockbox. One of the biggest leaders of calls to us as brokers is we can't get a hold of somebody because they're out of the office or out on vacation, and then my reminder to them, oh, I didn't have an agent friend to help me out. Use field services. It's a great tool, but also wanted to tell you guys too that today is not only my birthday, but it's the start of a new month, August. And so think about all the exciting things that are going to come up. We're pretty much 30 days away from the second strongest, best time of our real estate year, right? Spring's number 1, fall's number 2. And if you're engaging in conversating with sellers, remind them of that. You know, if they're getting down about their listing not showing, say, no, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, it's still summer. Remember, as families send their kids back to school, as vacations are over, fall is going to be awesome. So gear them up for fall, but then also gear yourself up for fall. Hunker down and really start focusing on your goals, revisiting your why, revisiting your vision board. Just think to yourself, you know, what do you need to do to accomplish, to grow your business and have a great month. There's always things that we could have done in the past. There's always things that we wish would have happened. You know, I've said this in the last a few breakfasts ago. We can't change the past, but we can focus on that future. So I do know take advantage. If August is a little slow because of those things that I mentioned, double down on your marketing efforts to really plant all your seeds to launch yourself for a great September, a great October, and then when November, December comes around, you're going to be enjoying the holiday season instead of dreading it because you worked so hard this month of August. So we all have everything within us to do everything that we need to do to be successful. You wouldn't be with Concepts if you couldn't be successful. So we just really need to just hunker down, re-engage, focus on those things. And then the key thing too, I think, is remember about the party tomorrow. So you can get there at 7 o'clock. There's no cover. It's Blue Moon Piano Bar out in West Glen. Like I said, our very own Jeff Karnowski is going to be joining Chris Ronaldo. They start playing at 8 a.m. Drinks on, or 8 p.m. I'm sorry, I'm way off. Drinks are on Lance if I can get his card, but if not, drinks are on me. We're gonna have fun. If you need an Uber with an O, call me. If you need a place to crash because you lost your keys, I'm right down the street from Blue Moon. But I hope we have such a fun, responsible night that we can trek over to 300 Rooftop and Craft Bar Patio. 300.
Can I introduce the real estate service center since there's a lot of new?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're new and not familiar with the real estate service center, we're a settlement agency in-house. So we're under the same roof as Concepts at the Vista office. So we offer cash closings, contract closings, and mortgage closings. Cash closing is $250 for the buyer, and then a mortgage is $455, and then the buyer is responsible for the title work and whatnot. But we will work with any attorney for that. If they don't have a preference, we'll work with Ross Burnett at Avondra.
You're the best.
We're the
They are the best. The best of the best.
But yeah, we will work with any real estate agency as well. So we love our Concepts, but we will work for FSBOs or any agency as well. So.
Awesome. Anybody else have any fun announcements? I think that's it, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here.